What do you think, Dave, of the firing or the indefinite suspension of Jimmy Kimmel?
Well, there's a lot, I guess, a lot of thoughts that I have on it. And I did, I thought it was, I thought it was pretty appalling what he said and so bizarre. There is this weird thing. Well, I don't know if you've noticed it, but it's because there's so many different groups here. So I just want to be specific. Like I'm talking about liberals, like neoliberal establishment type people, not the crazy left wingers who are making TikTok videos about how glad they are that Charlie Kirk got killed or something like that. But like I'm talking about like the people on CNN or the late night comedians, like the liberal Democrat Joe Biden supporters, where all of them, it seems like, or almost all of them, are like incapable of just saying like this was bad without trying in some way to politicize. I don't know if you saw Barack Obama's whole thing about all the awful views that Charlie Kirk held, of course, completely mangling and misrepresenting them. But it's just so bizarre to me that so many people have an issue in a situation like this with just being like, yeah, this was horrible. Like, I don't know. Listen, this is not a political statement. If AOC had gotten shot in the neck and executed in front of a bunch of people, I wouldn't lead with, I really disagreed with her on the Green New Deal. But, because even though I really do, because the only comment would be, oh my God, this is horrific. Like she was an innocent person. She had a family. This is horrible. Anyway, so Jimmy Kimmel, of course, did this weird thing where he tried to make the bit about how it reflected poorly on MAGA trying to cover for one of their own. It didn't even make sense. There was no reason to suspect this was a MAGA guy who did this. All of it was dumb. I will say that I don't like the federal government or any government official to ever be talking about speech ever. I don't think any pressure should be put from the government on corporations. This is just, that is not what a professed free society does. And I think it's truly like a betrayal of the legacy of Charlie Kirk. For anybody, the idea of talking about hate speech, saying the word hate speech from the attorney general, that's how we're remembering Charlie Kirk. That does not seem right to me. And I wasn't his closest friend, but I knew him and was pretty familiar with his work. And there is something profoundly wrong about that.
You brought up Obama. I saw you post about Obama. I don't want Obama to get lost in the wash because he did speak yesterday. And he did the thing. He just did Obama.
Oh, man. I mean, dude, it's tough for me to be objective here, Will, because I just hate Barack Obama so much, man. I hate him with such a passion. He did such so much damage to this country. Like, it'll take us decades to reverse what he did. And I'm not just, and I have all my stuff that I could go off on. When I posted on it the other day, I can't not call him the butcherer of Libya and Syria and Yemen and the guy who surged the war in Afghanistan by 60,000 troops, even when he knew we weren't going to win the war, and just the amount of death and destruction. But this was one of his worst qualities.
Droned Anwar al-Awlaki, an American.
Yeah, murdered American citizens with no charges against them, and Anwar al-Awlaki's teenage child, who is also an American citizen. But then there was also this element where he's so narcissistic and so divisive, and this stuff. Yeah, I mean, like he's sitting here, as he slowly in this professorial tone, makes the dumbest point, which isn't even true. And also he's doing the thing that he's claiming not to do. Like, what is your point? What are you doing here? You're doing, I did a better job when I was president as opposed to Donald Trump. So you're doing the exact same thing of like, it's this side's fault. This was the guy who said after Trayvon Martin got killed in self-defense, he said, if I had a son, he would look like Trayvon Martin. Just inserted that, like, the first thought he had was the racial similarities between him. So like, imagine if that were the case with a white president, that was the first thought you said about it, that, if I had a son, which you don't even have a son, but if I did, he'd have that skin color, not that skin color, which, by the way, also Barack Obama's skin color is like not clearly closer to Trayvon Martin's than George Zimmerman's, by the way, but whatever, it's probably in between. but it was just always these like incredibly stupid and divisive points. And, look, he politicized every incident. Even when there was that thing up in Boston where the cop, the black professor flipped out on the cop, it was totally unclear who was in the wrong there. He immediately jumped into it and looked like this whole you see it, man. He like broke the left, and he broke such a big thing in America where like the embrace of racialism and tribalism and all these political divides got so much worse through his presidency.